just a caveat before I dive into my contest prep thoughts and what I'm doing. I have never competed at like an international level. I've always done it very, very basic, very amateur. So I've only ever competed in my most regional, local to me competitions. I've done 4 bikini contests, and 3 of them were kind of, I prepared properly. The 4th one was a, how do you say, shit show, because my dad had passed away. I did it keto, which is not the way to do a contest prep at all. And it was just not a good contest. It was just bad all round. So I wasn't probably in the best shape. I wasn't mentally probably ready. It just wasn't good. So I consider that I did 3 proper ones and a 4th one kind of like just for fun. And that was in 2016. And I haven't done anything since then. I have considered it. I have thought about competing twice since then. The lady was even going to lend me a bikini, a fellow competitor who has been overseas. She was going to lend me her beautiful bikini. And I just never took it further. I think I've always been a bit scared to do it since the 2016 one, which didn't go well. And also, competing is very expensive. So in general, one hires a coach or you have a coach. Generally, you need posing classes or practice or somebody to help you. Then there's the cost of the bikini. If you don't have heels, you need to buy heels. There's the contest jewelry, which is not expensive, but it adds up. Then there's the spray tan, and then there's the makeup on the day, and the hair and the lashes, and it just becomes a whole big thing. And then in general, you've got however many months leading up to contest, depending on how ready your body is. And it is a big thing. And over 40, here's why it's a big thing over 40 and why I have been very hesitant to compete as an older athlete. I know I'm not old, but for an athlete doing a bikini contest, I am old. And the areas on your body where it really shows is behind here, the back of your thighs, your glutes and your thighs, and also in the tummy area. Now, luckily for me, being a pear shape, my stomach, my abdominal area does lose weight quite quickly. So I'm pretty flat in my stomach area. But for me, being pear shaped, this area here, this is where I really need to work on, and where it shows, my age shows. So, well, I have shown you guys before the jiggle on my butt. And that's normal, it's natural, and it's not a problem for real life. But when you're getting up on stage and you are going to be judged on your physique, on your body, that is where it's a problem, and it shows. And of course, I've said in videos before, you cannot get rid of cellulite, well, unless you diet down so hard. And yes, I carry some cellulite there, and so that is a concern. So let me just sort of give you an overview of my thinking, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, why I'm nervous, why I think that this is going to be, for me personally, a really big challenge. So I will be 46 when I compete. Let me start off. Number one, I'm doing 2 competitions this year. So I'm like in for a penny, in for a pound. And I will be 46, so that is a big concern. I'm not in my early 40s. I'm now heading towards my late 40s when I step on stage. As I said in my previous video, Renee Fit, so that's her handle on social media. I think it's Renee Fit over 70. She's now 72. She did her first contest at the age of 69, and just looking at her photos, listening to all of her interviews, inspired me to be brave enough to step on stage again, because I figured, you know what, at 69, if she was brave enough to stand next to 50-year-olds, I can do it. I can stand up on stage with 35-year-olds, and sure, I will look my age. The body doesn't, like, you can't hide those things. There is gravity, there is skin looseness and laxity. I mean, even on my arms, when I bend here, the skin is not, I mean, you ladies know what it's like. The skin is not the way it was when you are 20 and 30 and even early 40s. So these things are little telltale signs, and it may or may not count against me. I don't know. I don't know how they are going to judge, because part of the criteria is good skin. And in the competition I'll be doing in December, in their rules and regulations, when they talk about what they are looking for, they say no cellulite. So these are hard things to get rid of and hard things to maybe hide or change. But again, I have to go in with the mindset of they're also going to be judging me knowing my age, and I can only do my best. So the one competition that's coming up fairly soon in October, and I'm recording this now at the end of August, that one is more of a for fun. It's a fashion, like runway type style show. So in South Africa, we don't have the WBFF to my knowledge, but we've got what's called FRM, Fashion Runway Model, or Fitness Runway Model. So generally they market this show as a fashion and fitness extravaganza. And I've never competed in such a thing before. I've never considered doing such a thing before, but a friend of mine, so she's not even a friend that I know in real life. I've only been interviewed by her on social media. She's also a South African girl. I saw on social media she was entering this, and I thought, why don't I just take a chance? Why don't I be brave and just enter it? Because I don't know, she's doing it and she's got this like very positive, ballsy attitude when it comes to things. And I don't know, I was just inspired by her entering. And this one seems so fun. It seems like such fun. So I've got that one at the end of October, and then I've got one coming up at the end of December. And I have actually entered and paid. So I've got my entry done. So there's no getting out of it this time. Whereas the previous two times when I thought about competing but was going to and just chickened out, I never booked and paid for my spot. So I have now committed in money, in money terms, which is the big commitment. So that is what has inspired me to do it, was Renee Fit, and just the fact that I haven't done anything for a while. So there we go. I'm committed. Now, what do you ladies need to know, want to know? That's hard for me to gather. I don't know how much to share, but I'm not hiring a coach this time around. I've done many comps with coaches, and it's a lot of money. So like I said, the expenses to compete, it does add up. The one in October, I will have to travel from where I stay in South Africa to another part of South Africa. So there'll be travel costs as well. I figure I have enough knowledge from having coaches before, and there's enough knowledge on the internet to where I could probably, hopefully, I don't know for sure, but I'm going to coach myself. So what I can see in my physique when I take pictures, videos from everything I know from all my competitions previous to this, is that my physique is not balanced. I know this. I'm a pear shape. I have more muscle on my lower body, very little in my upper body. So if you look at some of the top competitors, you can see easily that they've got very developed shoulders, even though a lot of these competitions say they don't want capped shoulders, they don't want overly muscular development. Who wins? It's the girls with very broad shoulders, muscle development in their shoulders. So although they want you small and petite, they also want muscular development. And also, I don't have that X frame naturally. The X frame is when you've got basically your shoulders that balance out your hips and your butt. So I'm going to work on, and here's what I'm training for, is I'm working on my shoulders, I'm working on my lats, so it's these muscles in your back that sweep in. So my training is shoulders, lats, and then glutes, my butt. I have naturally bigger legs. I've got the quads. The quads are the front thigh muscles. So I don't need to develop those at all, but I do need to round out and try as much as possible to lift my butt, so my glutes. So currently my training split is this that I'm doing: Monday glutes, Tuesday shoulders, Wednesday back, and then I repeat. Thursday glutes, Friday shoulders, Saturday back. And that's what I'm just doing for now. I will be away in September, so I won't be able to train for a week or two then, which is also fine because I'm going quite hard and quite heavy right now. And I can feel my body is starting to fatigue. Mentally, I'm starting to fatigue a little bit. I'm going as heavy as I can right now because I do want to build. So for those of you who are following me on Instagram, especially, where I'm just chatting a little bit more about what I'm doing, right now I'm in a build phase, but I'm also tracking my food and sort of capping my calories as far as I can in the day to about 1,500. Some days I shoot over, some days it's a little bit under. It just depends on the day, on my mood, on my snacking. So on the weekends, I've been quite flexible and free. But at the end of last week, towards the end, my weight was at an all-time low of 50.8 kilograms on one of my morning weigh-ins. So I know that all the training and the eating I've been in a deficit, which is not what you want for muscle building. And it's not like I'm trying to hit a deficit, but I have hit a deficit somehow. And then I knew we were going out for dinner on Friday night. So on the Friday that I knew we were going out for dinner with my partner's client, what I did was I kept my calories decent in the day, but not super high at all. And then I saved like calories for that dinner. And by the time we got to the dinner, I was hungry and I didn't hold back. I shared a starter with my boyfriend. We each had our own mains. It was a fillet with this pureed sweet potato and oils and fats and all the things. And then we split a dessert and I had a coffee. So that dinner was a lot of calories. And then the next day, my weight had gone up, but not too much. But of course, you're using that fuel now to fuel your training, which I did on Saturday. And then we went for a walk and I did posing practice. And so there's a lot going into what I'm doing now. But like I say, my training now is focused only on the areas that I want to build and grow. And I'm hardly doing I'm not doing any running as such. I'm doing walking. I'm really hardly doing any ab exercises, no waist training, none of that other than a little bit of vacuuming. Now, vacuuming is what bikini competitors do. It's basically sucking in and pulling your belly button towards your spine because that trains, there's a band of muscles that go around here called the transverse abdominals, I think. That's what they're called. So they are not long muscles, but they are like a rubber band around your abs and your waist. And you can train that to get tighter. So that could potentially sort of cinch your waist. It's kind of like an internal corset or girdle, so to speak. So I've been doing a little bit of vacuuming, not a lot. And I have had one session with a posing coach here. It's such a small world. I know her from when I trained at another gym before. So I know her. She's great. She's going to help me. I'm going to have another posing session with her on this coming Saturday. So what I've been doing is training as hard and heavy as I can, a little bit of walking here and there just to keep my steps up throughout the day. What I'm trying to do now is just do a practice run of when I get closer to my December comp, because that is more physique comp. For the runway fashion show fitness one, I just need to be lean enough and confident enough to walk a runway. So like I said, I'm training hard and heavy now to try and build. I don't know if you can see, there's a bit more of a shoulder coming. I lack in the upper body department. And that is my weakness getting up on stage in a bikini contest, is I don't really naturally have a balanced physique. So I'm working on that. And it's going to be interesting to see what I can do in this short period of time. Generally, muscle takes ages to grow, but as you ladies know, I have been training for 12 years since I first did my first bikini show. And when I got so lean, and I've shown those pictures in all my videos, you know, how lean I got, you can see that I'm just basically scrawny. So what I enjoy about bikini contests, talking about scrawny, is that it takes the focus away from just being skinny, just being slim, just being slender, and it puts the focus on being muscular. And I personally love the look of shoulders on a woman, and I like an arm that is developed. I think it looks sexy. I think it looks beautiful. I know that traditionally a lot of women just want to be skinny. They just want to be, skinny at all costs. And I get it because of the 90s and the supermodel era and the models walking the runway. And it is a look, but I don't think it's a look that is beneficial for women, to be honest. I was very relieved when I saw fitness coming into fashion and in vogue when I did my first bikini contest in 2012. I was so glad that the fitness look was something that was starting to take off, because I have naturally more muscular legs, and I just felt, women shouldn't strive to be skinny, they should strive to be strong. Now, I know my upper body is more what you would call skinny, but that's okay. It's just my genetics, and that is what every and any bikini contestant has to work with, is her shape, her genetics. And it's exciting to be bodybuilding where you are trying to work on the areas that are lacking and you are wanting to build those areas up. And so whilst bodybuilding it can have a lot of misperception and misconceptions towards it, what I find exciting is that you are building strength, even if you are only training sort of certain lagging muscle parts. You do need to train with heavy weights. You have to strengthen those muscles. They need to grow in response to the weight and the stimulus. And it's an exciting sport because you do feel and it talks to the artist in me. You do feel like you are carving yourself with your efforts, with your diet, hitting your protein for sure, because protein tells your muscles to grow as well as the training. And for me, it's exciting to see what will I be able to accomplish in a fairly short space of time, but with all my training that I've been doing year in and year out without a goal. Let's see what I can do. So I've covered my training. I'm training about roughly an hour a day. I'm trying to do at least 10 minutes of posing every day. This weekend on Sunday, I spent about half an hour just going over the poses. Posing is huge, and it's something I've neglected in the past. So posing is what I'm working on a lot this time around. What else? And then my nutrition, my dieting. What am I doing? I'm giving myself a practice run of getting stricter and stricter with my nutrition, but I'm not so strict that I'm not allowing myself to eat what I want to now and then. I cannot eat what I want when I want to appetite, because then I will never see the fat loss. And I'm trying to see, can I lose the fat and keep the muscle when the stakes are not high, meaning I'm away from my 7th of December competition? And the answer would be yes, I can. I haven't hit the fat loss that I need to on this area here on my butt, my thighs, because there, to see my glute muscles and to see the definition is going to take a level of leanness that I haven't hit for a while. So whilst my upper body looks great, there is still fat here that could go. So I know I can and I will have to get leaner. But for now, I don't want to lose any more weight. And that's also the exciting part, is that I'm learning that I really am in control of this whole process. Is this actually skewed? My diet, or my nutrition, let's say, is the key. And this is the part that I want to impart to you ladies. So what I want to impart to you ladies is that if you do want to lose weight, if you do want to change your body, the main things you need to focus on, and it's working for me, is your nutrition. Track your food as far as you can. It doesn't always have to be perfect every day. Not every day have I tracked perfectly, but it gives you data, it gives you information. Don't use the tracking as a guilt tool. You use it as pure information. Then you see, I'm averaging this amount of calories, or this is my average food. And then you see what your weight does in response to that. Keep your protein to 1 gram per pound of ideal body weight, so that your muscles are not going to shrink, deflate, or you're not going to lose lean tissue. And I don't think we're going to lose lean tissue that easily, but if you are in a caloric deficit and you are under eating protein, there is a chance that you could be losing lean tissue. Why take a chance? That's how I think of it. And what I'm seeing is that when I am in a caloric deficit, my weight does go down. The minute I've increased my calories, like over weekends, my weight does go up. So there's a direct correlation. It's literally higher calories, weight goes up. Lower calories, weight goes down. And my muscle definition seems to be pretty good. It looks like I'm maintaining my muscle mass, even when I'm in a deficit for a day or two. And I think that is due to obviously the training. The creatine is helping my training. And then the protein. The protein is high. I'm trying my best every day to get in adequate or high fiber. So most days I'm hitting around 20 grams of fiber a day. So let me give you a quick breakdown of what my macros are looking like roughly. Roughly, I'm getting in about 100 to 120 grams of protein a day. My carbs are also there and thereabouts, about 100 to 130 grams of carbs in a day, depending. And then the fats can be anywhere from 30 grams to, like on a Sunday, I ate chocolate quite a bit, 70 grams of fats in a day. And then the carbs may be higher or less. It really does depend. But those are like my averages. My calories could be between 1.3 and 1.7, somewhere there. So I would average around 1.4 to 1.5. So 1,400 to 1,500 calories a day. That is like my average. Now, obviously, some days I'm more active, some days I'm less active. And again, I'm just looking at this at like an average over the week. I am not running at the moment. And the reason is because my knees, my hip, and running is very fatiguing. And with that load, that hitting of the force of you gathering your weight against the ground, because I like road running, I find that is very taxing, and the recovery from a run for me is quite steep. So now I'm putting on extra weights in the gym. So the recovery from my gym workouts is already sort of taking priority. And that is why I'm not running, but I am going for walks as and when I can, when I've got the time. And so far, that is what I'm doing to prepare. I know I'm going to have a week or two off where I'm not going to be able to train. So I'm taking that as like my rest period. What I will do in that time is keep my protein high, just manage my nutrition as best as I can so that I don't lose any muscle mass. Because for bikini contests, you do want muscle mass. You know, when I did my first ever show, I came in too scrawny, but it was my first show. I hadn't had time to build muscle. So my focus then was to just look kind of trained and to be lean enough for stage. So this time around, I'm really hoping that the little bit of muscle I have built over all the years of training will be apparent and significant, and it will show on my smaller upper body. As I'm talking, I would have inserted some clips of my posing and a little bit of where I'm at now. And that is so far where I'm at. I'm trying not to lose any more weight in the next sort of month. The weight loss will come maybe in October. I'll try and drop about a kg or two, and then I'll pick it back up, try and build muscle again. And then in December, in November, I will try and lean out for my December show. That is the plan. I hope I can stick to it. I'm just nervous, but it's very exciting. And the best part is that it is making going to the gym so thrilling. So thrilling. And that is really, I think, the point of having a goal is to be excited. So I'm waking up excited. I'm feeling really good. And actually, here's the weird part about losing weight is that I feel fitter. So I think when one carries, even if it is just like 4 or 5 kilograms of extra weight, I find when my weight sort of goes up to about 55, 56, on me, I'm a small lady. So just bear that in mind. This weight is not going to apply to all of you ladies. But when I reach around 55 kilograms, I do start to feel out of breath going up and down the stairs. And if you think about it, on a small framed person like myself, 4 or 5 kilograms, it's like a weighted vest. It's quite a lot of extra weight you're carrying around with you during the day. What I've noticed, even though I'm not running, so my cardio has been the least it's ever been in my life, right? Lately, my resting heart rate is lower because my weight has come down. And that is interesting. And yes, I'm pushing a bit heavier during my weight training session. So I'm getting a bit more of a heart rate boost during my weight training sessions. And so the weight training is acting like a bit of cardio for me. And then, of course, if I go for a walk, I try and walk at a pace where my heart rate is over 100. The lighter I am, the lower my resting heart rate is. It's so interesting to notice these things. I have been sleeping really, really well. So that's also good. And I find when I'm fit like I am now, well trained and eating correctly, my sleep does improve. I'm just currently on my normal HRT, so I don't know if that is helping anything. But as I've said in the past and in past HRT videos, HRT is hormone replacement therapy. I have found my HRT nirvana, which means I'm feeling very good, very stable. My hormones are the same every day, which is what I wanted. And so I do think that that is having a very positive effect on my training, which means, when you're in perimenopause and your hormones are doing this all the time, every day you feel different. Every day you don't know if you're waking up feeling on top of the world or at the bottom of the world. And so I think that the HRT really is helping because I am stable. I am calm. I'm getting a consistent dose of estrogen, my half a pump of testosterone, and my Mirena is there to prevent me having a period. And I have not had a period since I fitted the Mirena. I had a bit of spot bleeding and sort of, like continuous bleeding for about three weeks. And now that's stopped. And I haven't had a period since. And that also is helping my training because I don't have to worry about all of that nonsense. So I'm really happy. I'm loving this journey so far. There are a few days where I feel a bit low because my calories are a bit low, and then I'll try and eat a little bit more, or I'll just go to bed and, the next day is a new day. It also depends what food I have on hand and what's been prepared. But in general, things are going well, and we will see how I go. And what I'm treating this prep as, and these next two competitions that I'll be doing, I'm treating this as my learning curve year because I haven't done anything for 8 years. So I don't expect myself to step on stage and win anything or place. If I do, that is fantastic. For me, the win is the journey. For me, the win is being brave enough to step on stage again at 46. And the win is to just do the process, do this, and come out with a physique that I hopefully will be proud of, and to be healthy. And there you go. I hope that this video was interesting to you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.